This week's current event is going to be a fun one. Changes in broadcasting in the last 15 years. Fritz the Nite Owl, after 52 consecutive years of being on the air in radio and television, has been let go as his station has changed formats. Fritz, I'm going to toss it to you. What do you think of the big changes in broadcasting?
It's more difficult to make a career in broadcasting now than it was when I started back in 1959. There were more independently owned stations, more family-owned stations in each city, whereas now, like the station that eliminated my program, the home base is, who knows, Lompoc, Detroit, Duluth, Des Moines. I don't know where the home base is, but they own stations all over the country, and I don't know how many they own in Columbus. But it's harder to get in broadcasting now than it used to be. And in terms of, now I was a music disc jockey primarily on radio, and those jobs no longer exist in most stations. A lot of them are syndicated, where one guy in Hollywood or New York or so forth will do a music show and it's syndicated to, say, 400 stations across the country. So you hear the same guy the same time. In television, again, what I did is hosting a local late-night movie show. Again, that's kind of fallen into the syndication thing and the cable thing, where more movies and so forth. So those jobs, there are very few entertainment people in television. Like we used to have Ruth Lyons and Bob Braun, and Flippo had a show, and Aunt Fran and Janie Jingles and the Wrangler, and every city had a core, and a lot of local personalities who did one-of-a-kind shows in the morning, the afternoon, early evening, whereas now you go coast to coast and it's the same syndicated talk show or reality show. There is no Ruth Lyons in Dubuque, or a counterpart of a Ruth Lyons or a Paul Dixon or a Marty DeVictor or Gene Shea, Chet Long. I'm mentioning names that you've got to be over 60 to remember. But all of these people had local shows. Nick Clooney had a show here in Columbus, for 2 or 3 years. Spook Beckman,
They were good shows.
And they were good shows.
Yes, they were.
They were live and they were local, and the community could participate. But those shows, for the most part, that are entertainment-oriented are gone. All we got now live are news shows or sports-related shows, and occasionally like a food parade or a children's hospital telethon. But again, that's the local newscasters and so forth who are running it. There's no Flippo the Clown as the host.
And that's a shame.
So, yeah. So those kinds of shows just don't exist for the young talent coming up.
Fritz, I want to ask you this just because you are the current event this week, kind of, in a way. After 52 years, when you got the call that said, we don't need you anymore, whatever they said on the phone, how does it make you feel?
Well, I would have liked to have had a little warning just so I could have said goodbye the week before and thanks for listening to the people. But quite frankly, it's not, that's the nature of the business. When I decided to be an entertainer full-time, that was one of the things that went with it, is you work today, you won't work tomorrow.